What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to the. Is this thing on? Yeah. Thanks for coming back for the panel discussion. Links are sent. Messenger is closed. Coming in the front door right with me. What's up, Tim?
Howdy, howdy.
Hey. Do I sound okay on your end?
You sound fine to me.
Cool. Everybody in chat, give us a sound check. Do we both sound okay? Sound check, please. I've got this down. I know where the bubbles are now.
Nice.
Do we gotta how do we sound to YouTube in general? Do we sound okay? Waiting on chat. So yeah, dude. Uh you were there for the first hour
Yes,
and
sir.
um okay, I'm getting all good, sound good. So I'm going with that. Thank you. Sound check complete. Thank you much, everybody. Appreciate it. Got two confirmations. Awesome. So yeah, man, I recently wrapped up a couple of situations and they were very inauthentic to themselves and to me, and I got sick of it.
I understand. Sometimes you got to excise those things from your life.
Yeah, do you get many of them, dude?
Not since I moved out to the country. Since moving out to the country, my life has been a lot more laid back. Um, um, as far as socially goes, but yeah, occasionally we all get that. We get somebody who moves in and is parasitic rather than in symbiosis with things.
That's a good word for it, parasitic. Using you, using your energy, using your whatever resources, good feelings, your land,
Right.
your room.
Especially in urban environments. In urban environments, everyone is so hungry that it's easy to go to a watering hole and pick up a parasite.
Yeah, literally and figuratively,
Yes.
you know. And yeah, Sam was saying it happens a lot to good people, good guys a lot. I heard the yeah. Yeah, it does because I like to think it's you and me, Tim. We're not naturally like that. We don't look for the bad in people, though we're aware it exists.
Yeah, I try to see the good in everybody, but I've seen so many negative habits that it's sometimes just reactionary,
Yeah.
you know. You end up in a bad neighborhood and you're like, "Oh, well, everyone's going to treat me like shit here." And then you're like, "Oh, wow, this one person was nice to me." Shock. you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And they seem to hunt me down, hunt me out. I
Hmm.
am in urban environment. So
Yeah.
I've got a lot more of these people who are on the hustle than not. So
Right.
they're hustling and they're trying to make things work for them. And I get it. We all try to do that, but they're not in a great place, mentally speaking. So they try to start spending people, using people, manipulating. I am not about that. I called out two people this past little while, and I am not having it. I really am not having it. They are repulsed by me now. Good, good, be repulsed. They're repulsive to me. Anyway, sorry.
It's all right. She's dropping off some medicine for me.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I took some of mine. Um, it's nice to be here just chatting with folks and making online friends. Yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, that's cool. Hope you got your coffee. I got mine. And hope you got whatever you're drinking, Tim.
I get juice.
Nice. Samo, you didn't do anything, bro. You didn't do anything. Rachel and Renee are back in Spokane. Last week, they told us they were running from the wildfire. They're back.
Good, good.
They, they said she told me the house is okay. It's still standing. I hope that means okay. I mean, some smoke damage and a little bit of paint. Maybe everything's okay. I was worried about you. I'm like, oh man, I haven't heard from them since the show. What the hell? What's going on? And yeah, we were worried about you. So
Yeah,
glad things are better, or at least you're back home. So that's cool. And yeah, we were worried. And Dorothy's coffee is brewing right now. And Dorothy also says, I hope the place is okay, Rachel. And Renee, Raven's place is fine. Yeah, raccoon. That's what Raven's got. Not wildfire.
the war between cats and raccoons
Yeah.
over star-shaped food.
And it's for comfort. I'm feeling your vibe, even though we're far. I'm closer than you think. I'm in the room, or at least in the building. Yeah, that's the quantum link network, bro. That's it. And Sarah is in the cabin. That sounds like a code word. I'm in the cabin. Proceed with the observation.
It's really neat out there. It I wish I had a space like it.
Mm.
She's proud of it.
Yeah.
That's why it comes up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Rachel and Renee. Got it. Tracking. Got it. Yeah. But so other than everything, how's your week been, dude?
Oh man, um, it's been a normal week coming off of payday activity, and then we ended up having a check engine light come on today, so we went out to O'Reilly's and tried to figure out what's wrong with the car, and I don't know what's going on with it, but it's been one of them weeks, where
Yeah.
like everything's functioning, but there's always growth rings. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I for sure know what you mean. All right, well coming in. What's up,
Uh,
Lynn?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. Let me make sure your mic settings are good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, mic settings are good.
First,
You
before
sound
I
good.
do anything, happy birthday, Sarah.
yeah, it
Yes,
came.
happy birthday, Sarah.
We had a we had her go out with a friend to get pedicure. She got blue nails, and I think I treated her right that day. I don't know. It's up to her.
You're still alive. Just count your blessings. You know, I think you treated her just fine. I saw her dressed in
Okay, good.
beautiful.
Yeah. I got her that
Very
dress the day
pretty.
before. It was really nice. I liked it a lot.
Oh,
And
that tickled me to have her show me her dress.
yeah, she's she's gotten gorgeous. I mean,
She
like
is gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman.
yeah, I just other people notice now too, and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you know something. So often when you're empathetic, we've been talking about this all night, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You see what's on the inside of people before you'll ever see the outside of them. Have you seen that too? Where you see them inside first?
Yes, I always like. I always. I feel weird because I thought it was because of the anthropology background, but I actually remove hair and skin and age and
Not
and like,
literally, but figuratively.
but figuratively, when I look at somebody's face, I'm looking at the underlying musculature
Yeah.
and not so much what a person looks like, but what they could look like, or what
Yes.
they or who they look like, rather
Mm.
than what they, you know what I mean? When I look at somebody's face, I'm like, oh, you look a lot like your mother and father, because everyone does, of course. But uh,
Sometimes they do.
I'm like looking at the subtleties of the changes in their facial structure.
Right. I I I see it like that too. You do too, right, Nathan?
Yep.
Did
Oh yeah.
you see the heart before you ever see the outside?
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it helps to have blurry vision because that that other sense tends to take over before these work. Now
Yeah.
it's
Right.
a weird little swapping of senses, but
Well, I I
yeah, and
I have cataracts, so I barely see people, as it is. I mean, eventually I'll get them off, and then it'll be, oh, a brand new friend, but,
right,
you know, um, yeah, I find myself not encumbered by sight so much,
yeah,
because we all
because
have
these,
types that we like,
Yeah.
types of people, people that whose maybe their facial features are more pleasing, but gar- gathering that sense of what a person is beneath all that is
yeah,
so much more important, at least to me.
yeah. To me, it's a whole other aspect of of the person's picture, like I described in the picture. I looked at the picture and I didn't recognize the person until I remembered where how when did I take this picture? Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
Donna. Right,
it's
I remember
amazing.
now because it was when I took the picture, I was perceiving all of her, not just the
Right.
visual. I was perceiving
Well,
all of her.
I was looking through old pictures this week, of my mother, and I realized how strongly she and her sisters resembled each other. And I mean, I saw that very strongly after my mother passed, how much her sisters' voices and mannerisms really affected me,
Hmm.
because it was like looking at my mom all over again.
Right.
And, it's kind of striking to me how much, family units will resemble each other, even if the family maybe has all adopted children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nature
they
over
take
nurture.
on right. They take
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
aspects of the family they're in.
yeah, yeah. And I've seen this, with stuff like YouTube, where I follow a foster father who has a number of children that he cares for. He cares for them. He doesn't have a spouse, and they have what looks like a very happy family. And I can usually see when something isn't quite right.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You know, just by I don't know. There is something there that I can look at and say, nah, it's not quite idyllic like they say, but this particular individual doesn't even worry about that. They are what they are, what they are. It's just
Right.
kind of cool.
Yeah. Being able to see, not exactly see through someone, but
No,
have that extra sense of them. It's
yeah,
like um, you can go into the room with someone, and if you're shielding, like we know how to do, we
right, right.
shield, we focus and filter. That's on purpose. Um,
Well,
then
there's some energies we don't want attaching to us.
or
That's
perceiving. We
yeah,
don't want to see it. We don't want to perceive. So we shield.
yeah, and that's better for us anyway.
Right. The less outside influence, the better.
Yeah,
That way,
yeah,
there's an argument for both sides of that. Uh, it's like you want to grow, but you don't want to be isolated to where you don't have any experience. You choose it. I choose it. Maybe when we were
Yeah.
kids, we were exposed to all this stuff that we didn't know any better, and but now we know better, and we
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
we can shield, focus, and filter. And
Understanding people, you know, um, they're sometimes they'll let themselves open to be read as well,
they
you know.
normally they want that. They're in.
Uh,
That's an open invitation for people to come in, not out of spite or malice. Just please talk to me. Sometimes
right,
it's
right.
loneliness,
That happens sometimes, but then there's the individuals just looking for attention
right?
and wanting to be attending and wanting drama too. And that individual needs to be avoided
Hmm.
because they'll ruin your peace.
Right. And people who are looking to make you a hobby,
Yeah,
huh?
a
No,
project.
or hobby or a project or
Yeah,
something to be repaired. Mm-mm,
or
mm-mm.
something to
I
be
can fix them.
used. You were saying?
Here we
It's
go.
it's something that they say a lot in Generation Y. They say I can fix them. They mean
Yeah,
it ironically. I was just
I know. I got something for him. I got something for
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always at the
yeah.
ready. Just give me 5 minutes to warm up.
Yeah, it's when we even with talking on YouTube, energetically the empath can feel who they're talking to, feel what they are, what their intentions are, whether they are for real or whether they're not. And
Right.
that's often, the case. When I first met Storm, I spoke to him briefly on on a computer. You know, my friend and I were talking, and he happened to be there, and I could feel from him he's a genuine individual, very genuine, very authentic, empathic. There wasn't any hiding who I was from him, not at all. you know, even with shielding, is working things like that. So it's an interesting vocation
Mm.
to actually be an empath, and a empath who is graduating into things like shielding, understanding who other people are, offering help and sympathy, isn't an empath anymore. They're a warrior.
Mm, for sure. And I'm, Lynn, I can't stop but remember last week's show. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Tripping us
great. I really
all out.
enjoyed it.
awesome
That
show.
was, I was like, oh, wow. This is happening and you're bringing it here.
Yeah.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
you told us all about it. And I'm sure
Oh,
you're,
where would I take it but here?
yeah.
This is the quantum show. Everything we talked about last week was quantum, every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
mean, it wasn't a mundane thing at all to go through this, and to realize more strengths and more abilities that weren't there ahead of that. A
yeah. And the
deeper
experience.
relationship with the Almighty, with the
Hmm.
universe.
Yes.
For those listening, call it what you want, creator, God, Yoda, the force, whatever.
You know, you can call it a
Wow.
peanut butter sandwich if you want to. Ultimately, it's a renewed sense of self and creation, and the reality of our world.
Yeah. I can't say I've ever had that experience.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I wouldn't recommend it. Not the way I got it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that
that was too intense. Go
well,
perfectly normal, go to get in bed, and suddenly you're dying. You're literally dying.
mhm,
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Mm-mm.
no. But you
I'm
came through
Yeah, I'm very
stronger.
fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I
Yeah.
I came through. I got the gifts that I was meant to have. I got those that I was deliberately holding back, and now I can't hold them back anymore. Uh, even in the mundane world, I can't hold them back anymore, and I did for a long time. So it's a brand new world for me.
Yeah. I do know that feeling. I do know that feeling. It's a brand new world. Your perspective is completely shifted. It's
Yeah,
the same, but now you know more about it. You see
yeah.
through more, you see more about it. I do
Well,
understand that.
you we talk about being able to look at intention or feel intention from other people, but how often do we really do that? Not too often.
Right.
It there are some people in the world, who stomp their little feet and shake their little hands and jump up and down and ooh, ah, oh, be so afraid. When they're so afraid it isn't funny.
Hmm.
You know, you start to see that sort of thing. you know,
Yeah. I refuse fear. I refuse
yeah, no,
fear.
I don't
I,
want to
I
live there.
refuse it. I refuse it. I mean, if it's not a lion chasing me or something trying to eat me, I'm probably not going to be afraid of it.
I might be a little nervous of a lion. I might
Right.
say, "Here, kitty, kitty," too. I've walked into a yard that was being used for a pen for huskies.
Mm.
Nice puppy. Oh, what a baby you are. Oh, yes. And the owner said, "May I help you?" I said, "I'm looking for so and so." "Oh, they live next door. Won't you come in? I'll just let you out my side door." You know, and those were the days when you could trust that sort of thing. Okay.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
nowadays I might think twice. But, at that time I was at the peak of my abilities too.
A
So I
peak.
said, "Oh,
A peak.
a
You
peak
are at
of
a
my
peak
ability." I was
now.
at a physical peak.
You were at a peak. Now you're at
Yes.
another peak.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I followed him. I followed him through his kitchen and out the door, just like was supposed to happen. And he goes, "Ma'am," he goes, "did you not see the sign on my gate?" I said, "Sign? What sign?" And I hadn't seen a sign at all. And it was hidden a little bit by his magnolia, and it was a danger, vicious dog. He was just a puppy, just wanting loved on. He goes, "That dog has never let anybody in this yard ever." He goes and he goes, "You walked in and it was with impunity." And I said, "It's a kind of magic. You
Hmm.
just trust me on that." And he goes, "It must be because I've seen him tear up people." He goes, "And my insurance is out the window." And I thought, "Oh my God, she's going to get hurt." You know, I said, "No." I said, I said, "I have a kiss right here from the angels." You know,
Mm.
And you can't fool the dogs. The dogs see
no,
good and bad.
they
They
know.
can see, they can tell.
My Chihuahua, like I said, she when I was first home, she was just thrilled to death, and then she punished me for being gone. And she came up to me tonight and hopped in my lap. There was a little thunderstorm, and I said, "Oh, now I'm your best friend, huh?" And she just looked at me, just hold me, I'm scared, you know, like just laughed at her and held her, But she can really tell them off when they're coming through the door. I don't know what she can do about it with no teeth, but I expect she would try.
Right.
I
Yeah. Okay, well, Lynn, you saw the first hour. You were in the
did.
chat. And okay, first, how did I do? Uh,
You
you
always
know,
ask that. You always are fine. You're good. Why can't you believe that?
okay, well, I've been working on upgrading my speaking skills, not trying to say so that kind of thing. I'm trying to get away from that, and I'm always looking for feedback.
Is that who
Feel
you
free to be
are?
critical. It's okay.
Is
I
that
mean,
who you are? It is. It's who you are. And you're becoming more of who you are. That's still authenticity.
yes.
You
Yeah.
when you're doing a show like this one, okay, or doing anything really, whether it's a new job or maybe you've taken on a new responsibility, there's a learning curve and you have to learn to curve with it. And you're learning to curve with it. You're becoming a better influencer, a better motivator. That's part of what you do. It There's nothing to criticize here as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned. There's growth. There's a lot of it. Tim has had a lot of growth in the 2 years that he's been doing this. When we first started with Tim would barely speak on the air. Now he will,
Right.
and
Um,
and be heard.
the authenticity it's going to come anytime that you keep it real.
Yes.
You be real, and you don't have to play a character. You don't have to be, you know, Nathan from the Quantum Show. You can just be
Bang on,
Nathan from
Squire.
the
You
Quantum Show.
got it. You're absolutely right. Nobody here plays a character. We are
Right.
who we are. Nobody's playing at being a badass or anything else. We
Hmm.
are. You know, a lion doesn't have to tell you he's a lion.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We've
Ooh.
got a question. What does authenticity mean to each of us? I think I said my part in the first hour. So
Who's
this
asking?
is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. I hope you guys are safe and well. I've been praying for you. They've had, problems with the wildfires too.
Yeah.
And Keith sends his best. He asked me to next time I saw you to say something to you. The authenticity is knowing who you are, what your availability is to other people, not offering more availability than you have ability to give. That's part of authenticity. It's also being able to say no when no is the right answer, or to say, here's my boundaries, guys. Like it, don't like it, I don't care. That's authenticity. Knowing you're worth it. Kudos to our Keith on that one, too. Uh, Knowing that what you offer is a very specialized commodity. It's all Rachel. It's all Lynn. It's all Tim. It's all Nathan. There isn't there isn't anybody trying to be Nathan. There isn't anyone trying to be Tim.
Hmm.
Everybody's being themselves. That's authenticity. when
Mm.
something genuinely offends you, either say nothing, get out of the situation, or say, hey, what do you mean by that? That's authenticity.
Yeah, I like to when something is offending, I like to discuss it. I want to know more. What does that person mean?
Where
You
is that
know?
coming from, even?
Right.
Was it some, were you trying to be clever? Was it a matter of a misplaced sense of humor? Or maybe, hey, you fucked up. Let's don't do
Yeah.
that anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's authentic. I'm not going to play games. I'm usually very, very polite. I'm reserved. I'm conservative. But when the circumstance calls for the f bomb, I'm going to use it. That's all there is to it. Until terms of service say I'm not allowed to anymore, and I'm and they do. They occasionally say, hey, it's getting a little rowdy over there. Chill out. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, uh, what do you think? I'll go. Rachel missed the first hour, so I'll go over it a
Yeah.
little bit. But go ahead, Tim.
Authenticity is keeping it real even when the temptation is to do otherwise. It's like it's keeping it real despite the fact that human nature is going to make you want to go in another route. You shouldn't try to be something that you're not. You know, if you if you're from the country, you should be from the country when you're in the city. If you're from the city, you should be from the city when you're visiting the country. If you're a product of both environments, you should blend in naturally. That's authenticity, keeping it real, not being not being outside of yourself, but still being yourself. How's that?
I agree. It's a wonderful perspective.
I
I
was
like it.
muted. Sorry. That
What do you,
reminds me
well, what
of
about you, Nathan? What's authenticity to you?
okay. Authenticity is like Tim said, keeping it real in spite of you really wanting or even maybe even needing to fit in. If you're being authentic, you will figure out a way to adjust. And the thing is, people will adjust to you because you're not people pleasing. You're not putting on a face. You don't have a facade to maintain. You're not maintaining a lie. You're not trying to play games. You're trying to
Hmm.
Right,
go in. To
right.
me, this is authenticity, and I went through this a couple times in the past little while, and I dismissed those people, and they ended up dismissing themselves, which is fine. And
Exactly.
I had to finally just say, this is where I stand, and these are my boundaries.
Yeah.
So that was that, and they wanted no more part of me because I
See,
wouldn't
and,
play their
and
games. Because
sometimes you just got to unload the baggage, huh?
yeah, I had to just say, "Hey, this is where I draw my personal lines, and I'm done. If you don't like it,
It's a
there you go."
big YouTube out there.
Yeah,
Sayonara.
yeah,
Right?
yep. And
And,
what's up, Urso? Sorry, he just came in. What's up, Urso? I just saw you come in.
Earth.
some of the big thing about authenticity, too, is if you get peer pressured, and we, even as adult people, if you're a youngster, we get peer pressure too, big time. And
Oh yeah,
authenticity is looking at that peer pressure and deciding, am I part of that or am I not? And if the answer is I'm not, we see ourselves out. We won't wait for the door. We'll find it,
right.
you know, and just disappear from that particular group. I've been known to excuse myself from employment because of peer pressure. or boss pressure. You know, it's it takes a great deal of strength to do it, and it pays to know whether you can or not. If you can't afford to do it, oh, for God's sake, put up with the bullshit and keep on moving. You know, but if you can honestly say, this thing isn't for me anymore, I'm not doing it, and I'm not going to be pressured to do it, then
Mhm.
by all means, do what feels right and get out of it.
Right. And you know what I've also found is when you are a strong person in the midst of weak people,
Yeah,
then they will start to conform to you. Not that you're
true.
trying to lead, but they see that and they're like, this person knows what's going on. This person instills confidence.
Right.
And they will, not that you're trying to, but they will be inspired. They will want you to succeed, not at their expense, because they know that you're working for the good of, if you're in a group, for the group. They're working for the good of the group. When you're a
Right.
strong person that you have your ethics and your boundaries set, that right
They
there,
know.
that
Your whole
radiates.
office knows who you are. Your
Yeah,
whole
that radiates.
workforce
It doesn't matter
knows
how
who
much you
you
talk
are.
about aliens and chemtrails.
Yeah.
All that is extra.
Yeah. Now, you don't got to pay for that,
Right.
but I know, I've always been paranormally involved, always, from
Right.
the time I was a youngster. And I had a boss that was, this sort of stuff doesn't go here. And I said, I'm not asking you to pay for it. You know, I said that comes just natural with me. And if you have can stay with me or I stay with you, I said you get the benefit of my psychic ability. I said, and you want that, I assure you. And he thought I was BSing him. Of course he thought so, especially at that time. And I got a contract. He was an automotive supplier and dealt mostly with the government. This involves making bids on projects, on parts, on equipment. I made a bid on a contract. I read the contract thoroughly because that's what you do when you bid on a contract. You make sure that you're not putting your butt out there in the wind.
Make sure you can cover what you put in.
Exactly. It was FOB Antarctica. Now, for those who don't understand what that means freight on board. It also means if a part goes bad in Antarctica, you deliver them a part to Antarctica and replace it. Oh, hell no. Okay? Not a little bitty part supply operation. Not happening.
Right.
And I took that part of the contract and deleted it and said, no, not us. We will send the part to as close to the edges of the United States as in to Hawaii, and that's as close as we're going. Okay, and I made that very clear in this contract. We got the bid. We got it. It was a good bid. It was a very good contract. And my boss, a few weeks later, came charging into my office and saying, "What in the hell are you doing? Oh my God, blah, 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 blah." They're afraid on board to Antarctica. I said, if you look at the terms of service on that contract, you will notice that I took exception to that. Was very clear with it. He goes, where's that? I said, right here. And I showed him. And of course, I showed him on their contract, not mine, on theirs.
Mm.
Yep.
And he calls him up, says, yes, ma'am. No.
Right.
you know,
Okay.
saved him about $1 million, and that doesn't count tax.
Yep. Coming in the side door at 40 minutes. What's up, Raven?
Hi.
Hey,
Raven,
Raven.
hi.
Good to see you, Lynn.
You too, honey. I can barely hear you.
Keep my volume too low. Is that any better?
Yes,
A
Oh,
there
little
we
bit.
go.
Sound check.
Sound check?
Sound
Yep.
check.
Still a little low. Still a little
Yeah.
low.
What microphone are you using, Raven?
Camera.
Attached to these earbuds.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
they need to be. Maybe the microphone itself needs to be a little closer.
Here. How about this? How about
Hello.
now? Is that any better?
Wow.
No. No. Lots of background noise.
Okay. Do this, right? Okay. How's that?
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might want to hold that thing in front of you. The
Yeah.
little mic. Hold it a
This
little
thing?
bit. Yeah. The microphone. Hold it
So,
a little bit closer.
so Raven, we're talking about authenticity. What's your take on authenticity?
Wow, authenticity is pretty loaded. It's a loaded term, and it means different things to different people.
Very
Really.
true.
Um, to me, authenticity is just being you. You're not putting on any airs for anybody. You're not changing your opinion. You're not changing your position based on who's around you. Now, there are times when you need to, be polite and fit in to a group because but I don't consider that being inauthentic when you're, um, trying to relate to somebody on their level, and sometimes you have to, talk down, not
Yeah.
use big words, stuff like that. You have to, uh, you know, kind of, I don't know. It was like back in school when you went to lunch, there would be certain tables that the certain cliques would kind of, group off at, and there you have like the one table of the rock and rollers, and they're all in leather coats, leather jackets, and they're all talking about, bands, and they're all like, you know, rough, and they cuss a lot. And then you'd have your theater kids, and they would be talking about, going to a like a what was that called? Oh come on, that famous rock show, rock horror opera. What was it called? Oh
The
god,
Rocky
Horror Picture Show. Yeah,
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, yeah.
they'd be making fun, and then you'd have your preppies over there that would just be so snooty, and they would just be looking down at everybody else. But in the lunchroom, I had
Yuppie wannabes. That's what they were called.
yeah, and sometimes to interact with different groups of people, you tempered your language or whatever. I don't consider doing that inauthentic. I didn't ever like change my opinion about anything, but maybe I didn't use the F word when I was talking to the preppy crowd, perhaps, where I would with the rock and roll crowd. You know what I'm saying? Does that make
Sure.
sense? Um,
Sure,
But-
there's a time and a place for everything.
yeah, but authenticity to me is like being your core self, um, and not just changing with the wind with the opinions of maybe who you're around, or trying to put on an air and pretend to be something that you're not.
Right.
And so I think that I've seen that kind of confused with somebody they'll call a social butterfly, uh, and so they don't
They're
really have an
just
opinion.
gathering people for the sake of gathering them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and often it's just being you and not worrying about it. And
Yeah,
the older I
you're
get,
absolutely right.
I think the easier it is because the less I care about what people think. There was a time in my life though, when I was heavily under my parents' influence, that I was expected to act and talk and be and dress a certain way, which was not who I was. and I had to be that person to survive high school, basically under their roof.
Right, right. And a lot of
Got
kids
out.
still have that problem.
Yeah, yeah,
I think high school is one of my least favorite memories.
mine too. Mine too.
I didn't enjoy it. Now I know some people that just positively were in their best years during high school, but that was not my experience at all. Especially not being able to look at somebody and say, you probably shouldn't go a certain way home today. And they're like, why? I don't know, just have this feeling. And boom, they hit a tree or something stupid.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we have another question, and this is a good one. Does guarded authenticity sound valid? Yes. Let me start with this one, right?
I agree.
Being guarded is not being false. Being guarded is the shielding. Being guarded is not letting people in. To me, okay, this is how I deal with it. I want them to know me, whoever it is, but I will be guarded at first so I can observe where they stand first. And then I don't know, maybe if I find out where they stand is vastly different from where I stand, I may dismiss myself. I
Yeah.
may walk away from it. Or I may unleash myself. When I see if they are not being real, I will become the loudest voice in the room.
You get
If
more
I
real.
Yeah, if I see this is BS, I call it completely out. If it's uh, if it's something that I see needs to be fixed, if it's just some kind of social gathering where they're just hanging out, eating hot dogs, talking trash, I'll go away. I'll just walk away. But if it's something that like will affect all of us, the Legion is a good. Me being in the American Legion is a good example. If I see
Yeah.
something going on where it is going to be bad for everybody because they kind of run the show, I will speak up and I will start to overrun everybody. I did it in the military. By the way, they
Thank
hated
you.
that because I was like E1, E2, and they hated that because I mean, it's just, but I was being authentic and and guarded. Yes, it is valid. Okay, that's
Well,
how
I think
I
it's
feel it.
necessary an awful lot. When you're on say a city bus, your authenticity is very guarded. You don't know who else is on that bus with you or what their intentions are. Unless of course you're tuned into the whole shooting match. In which case, you know whether you need to be guarded or if somebody's genuinely looking for help from you. And I don't mean, hey, mister, you got 50 cents I can take. That's foolishness. Never take your wallet out in public. But you see what I'm coming from on his.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
oh yeah,
being guarded is part of self defense. First rule of self defense is don't be there. Don't be available for the BS.
right. And does guarded authenticity sound valid? Yes,
It does.
yes.
For me, it
There's,
does.
and it's better to have a method than not because that comes with experience, though, right? It comes with experience. How do you guard your authenticity without being inauthentic, right? So yeah,
Just tell them
and
it's not any of their goddamn business.
yeah, that's pretty authentic.
I like how
I
you
mean,
think. I've
well,
been known to do that.
some things are private. Sometimes you want to go up to a girl and say, "I eat ass." Other times, that's your boss.
Oh dear God! Yeah.
You know, just
I thought I
saying.
was being a bit risque saying the F bomb.
Just,
But no, you're right. You're right. There's a
you
time and
know,
a place for everything.
to be authentic, to be yourself, to be real, to keep it real. But then there's also a
There's
time to be
times to
guarded
get
about
off the
it.
bus and run the other direction.
Yeah,
Right.
wear a
You
MAGA
know.
hat into a room full of liberals.
Say
You're out
again.
of trouble.
I didn't quite
Just
catch
don't
you.
wear a MAGA hat into a room full of liberals.
That's probably a bad idea, and vice versa too.
That would be
Yeah,
guarded,
that'd
authentic.
be a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Nev, you just want to.
There's a witch that is on YouTube. She is so funny, and she is selling these little like voodoo dolls of Trump. Yeah, yeah.
He's leading the country. I don't want him to fail. I really don't.
It
And
behooves,
that's not because I'm a Trumper.
it behooves us
It's
to
because
praise
he
and
is the
support him,
president.
but you know,
Right.
so funny. Yeah, she's got these little all kinds of political figures that you can.
And I'm enough left leaning to think that everyone should have a roof and food to eat and
Oh yeah.
be able to educate their kids.
Need you look again?
What is that? What's it
It's
say?
a hat that says "Made you look" again. Poking the bear.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guess so. But no,
Just kidding.
I was brought up to believe that yes, I may not have voted for someone, but they got the office because more people than me thought they should have the office. That deserves a lot of respect in my book. Whether I like what somebody does or not. Respect for the office, respect for the rank, not necessarily the person. See
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Right.
Now that's guarded authenticity rather
And
than saying, I think Trump's an imbecile. You know, okay, that's laying it all out there and hoping somebody smacks you in the nose.
and you know what? I can give you and Tim can vouch for me here, right? In the military, we knew our leaders were idiots, but they were our leaders. And if
Yeah.
we hindered
Yeah,
them, we hindered us. So
yeah,
I don't want any of our presidents to be hindered. I want them to do the best they can because their welfare means our welfare.
that's how I see
Uh,
it. That's and
That,
that's not politically involved. I promise it's not.
Same.
It is saying, hey, look, yes, my authenticity is being guarded right now because I don't want this to turn into a political free for all.
Yeah.
What I do want to say is our respect for who we speak with, whether whether they may deserve our our respect or not, should be in reserve for people who have some say over us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
president
So
has the most say of anybody.
right. So Tim, you were gonna say something. What you got, Tim?
I've spent the better part of 50 years not being surprised and always being disappointed by political outcomes.
Yeah,
So it's just, it doesn't matter who is in charge. I have constantly been disappointed by them. And I don't think that that's going to continue to get any better as I get closer to leaving this place.
Disclosure 2026.
Right. I think that it's a matter of I've gotten better at dealing with it internally. You know, it doesn't make me as crazy as it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Hmm.
Back when I was in the military, you know, a president like made a difference in so many different ways that now I miss when presidents didn't matter.
yeah, yeah. I watch younger people, and I have two who live here. I have a 35-year-old and a 40-year-old, who are very opinionated, and but they have similar views. And every now and again, one or the other of them will come out just screaming to high heaven over some damn thing, concerning politics. And I'll sit there and I'll hear them out. Oh, yes, and oh, no, and let them have their say because obviously they need it. And, well, aren't you going to say anything? Why? You're doing all the talking. What do I got nothing to say on it. And they'll say, well, aren't you going to voice your opinion? I said, yes, in the voting booth. That's where I vote my that's where I voice my opinion. And everything after that is like you say, MYOB, right?
All right. Yeah, just stay in
Right.
your lane. You do what you do.
Yeah,
When your
stay in
leader's
your
your
lane.
leader, when your leader's your
Yeah,
leader,
we don't have to
after it's
agree.
done, you don't have to agree, but you got directives.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I
Just
mean,
stay angry enough to keep voting is all I ask. You know.
yeah,
Yeah, keep voting. Keep making your opinions heard there, particularly. Even if you voice them nowhere else, voice them there. Because voting prevents unwanted presidencies.
could this be constructive authenticity? Could
I
this
think
be
it
that?
could.
Oh,
I
constructive.
think it could.
I like that.
We are, the four of us have very different ideas about what is absolutely appropriate, and that's with our head leader, along with all of Congress and all of the Senate. All of us have our opinions. We're all from different states, which have different needs
Mhm.
concerning political situations. Why in the world would we agree on one thing? It is impossible.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to have differing opinions. I'm very strongly motivated over water rights.
Mm.
I'll bet you guys don't think twice about it.
Oh, I think about the water all the damn time.
Okay,
But
but you're in Mississippi, where
Arkansas,
clean or Arkansas, I'm sorry,
yeah,
Arkansas, where clean water is at a premium.
yeah,
Illinois, it lives right next door to the Great Lakes. Tennessee
I got rivers
has
all
has
over the place.
rivers and
yeah.
springs and water rights. Don't worry him as much.
True.
I worry that Albuquerque has a dry Rio Grande, and
Yeah.
what that's going to mean to the southwest of New Mexico and Texas. It ain't going to be pretty, folks. It isn't.
No,
But you guys aren't picking up a rifle to defend it. Some of the people in our area are.
you can't live without water. Everybody and everything on
Everybody
the planet
has to have
needs
it.
water.
Yeah.
And the person sitting on it is Colorado. See what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
So when you start looking at one little one little uh, situation, there are four different takes on it. There's 50 statewide. They'll talk about how many people live in the United States. A couple of 100,000, a million, maybe a couple
Millions.
million. Yeah, a couple
Uh,
millions.
uh,
You know, but there you are. That it varies vastly as to how important is it really. That's creative authenticity. And our
Okay.
forefathers were damn fine at it. That's why they put together the Constitution the way they did.
Hmm. Yeah.
Aussie is backhanding a compliment, a suggestion, and saying, coffee, y'all, because we're at the hour mark.
Are
I
we?
get, I get it, I get it. You don't have to beat me over the head with it, Aussie. Yeah, it's the hour break. We need coffee. I get you. So let's go ahead and do that, y'all. We're at an hour of two,
What did
and
we even talk about data centers? I'm not going to here.
I,
Not a chance.
I agree. But yeah, I get it, Aussie. Aussie is flashing the amber light this time. This is the first time the amber light comes on for, hey, you're using. Let's use some more water. Let's go get some coffee. I'll be back. So
Yeah.
coffee break. Good call, Aussie. Thank you. Like and subscribe if you're here. Your quantum coffee break. I'm gonna put that up here for a minute. And yeah, coffee time. Be right
Yeah,
back.
we're gonna
Be right back.
coffee break and we're gonna go away from political stuff and come back to some more
A little more
talk about
quantum. A little more
empathy and the
quantum.
rest of it.
Yeah, we'll be back. Watch for ghosts.
Of course.
You know, I'm looking at Scream Engine's comment. Still the best constitution on earth. P.S. Annex us, please, already. He lives in Newfoundland. So,
Okay. Oh,
um,
I've got
I,
enough trouble on my hands.
he's saying we still have the best constitution on earth, and I to a degree agree with him. I mean, I think that
It was well thought
when
out. Very
it
well
was
thought
very
out.
well thought out.
And it's interesting how many other documents similar are based on it. They take some things out, put some things in, and then it's not as good, at least
Yeah.
according to some. And sometimes it's better. That could happen too. And I have to blow my nose, so your guys are just gonna have to do without me for a minute.
I think we'd be better with
I
some
agree.
ranked voting systems in place, but that's just me. I think it's amazing that we have a constitution that allows a person to travel from Maine all the way down to New Mexico, San Diego, California, up to up. We even get to go through Canada on our way to Alaska, and we don't fight with each other most of the time when we're traveling across this country.
Well, the Canadians and the United States people don't quarrel. Government, however, seems to want to nitpick quite a bit.
Right.
And I say our government likes to. But to me, it's leave them alone. They've got the whiskey. You know?
I
They also
agree.
have maple syrup. Just leave them alone for pity's sakes. They also have what's that stuff called? Poutine.
Poutine.
Yeah,
Poutine.
poutine. Yeah, leave him alone. I don't want any. You know. No, one of my best friends is Canadian, and we don't talk about that crap because neither one of us cares about it, and we're very good friends. But of course, I'm talking about our Keith, you know,
Yeah.
and we both will sit and bellyache about our governments, but we won't argue about each other's governments. That's diplomacy, folks. You know?
Yeah, our Keith. Sorry, jumping in. Right.
Yeah.
I walked in on whatever I walked in, but you said Hard Keith, and I was like, oh. Okay, Art Keith was
I said our Keith was one of my best friends,
yes.
and he is.
Yeah, yeah. And I watched him on Spaced Out Radio last night. Shout out Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio. And he said, one of the questions, this was cool, right? One of the questions said, asked him, how do I get abducted? And he went over it, right? He said, well,
What?
you don't want to be abducted just by anybody. And it wound up the best way to get abducted or contacted rather by in the right way is first don't be racist, prejudiced, hateful, fearful, all that,
Yeah.
and be authentic. I was like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
No,
he
and
said
he's
that, and I was
right.
like, huh, yeah, you got to be authentic, and then you can't have like dark marks in your whole your all that leaves dark marks on you when you're
Yeah.
racist,
Can.
prejudiced, hateful, fearful, all jealous, full of rage. Those are dark marks, right? And that got me. That kind of sparked the powder keg of tonight's topic because of everything that's been going on with me over here. And then he says that in response to someone's question. I was like, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what's up. Did
Oh,
anybody else see that show? I know you saw it, Lynn. Did you?
SOR?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No. No. I've been
Oh,
trying. Uh, Storm is really hovering and making sure that I'm to bed at a decent time. That
oh,
is to
right,
say, any time ahead of 1 in the morning.
right.
And a lot of that is how sick I was. He just doesn't want me to overdo,
I
you
got you.
know,
Yeah, I
get
hear you.
doesn't want me nerved out, doesn't want any of that stuff happening because he doesn't want to see me go down again.
Hmm.
And that was scary to both of us. It's very
Yeah.
frightening.
Well, I'm glad that he's.
Suddenly not have your faculties. It's very disconcerting.
Yeah, it's good to have someone helping you out because we get lost
Yeah.
in the day to day. We get lost in the what we're wanting to accomplish,
Well,
and
he didn't
then
want me getting lost again.
yeah, right, we get. I know I do. I mean, I know I do. And I'm looking at the chat now that I'm back, and let's see what do we got here.
Did anybody do anything for the Lionsgate today?
Do what?
The Lionsgate portal today?
I didn't mess with it.
There's still time.
I really don't.
It's climax is today, but it's going to end on the 12th with an eclipse, solar eclipse.
Well, talk about it, Raven.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
please.
Um, a time to manifest, and it has a lot to do with manifesting abundance because of it being 8/8, the date, and 8 is the numerical value for money and for uh, just the acquiescence of wealth and abundance. So
Maybe put your microphone closer to your mouth.
Yeah, hold it up.
okay,
You're
sure. Is that
really
better? Is that better?
yes.
Okay. 8/8, the date. 8 is the number that's associated with abundance and the acquisition of wealth of all kinds. So the Lionsgate portal is really something that came into more popularity here, like in the last 20 years or so, with the New Age community. But it was ancient, and it goes back to an alignment that was noticed back in Egypt, ancient Egypt, because of the star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky, and Orion's belt, and the Earth, and the Sun, and the Moon, all kind of like forming this alignment. And so it's said that there's a portal that opens, and with it having all that 8 energy, it has wealth potential. And so it's a good time for manifestation of all things, but particularly abundance if you're needing. And who doesn't need more money these days, right? So What they recommend you do is to first clear some space for what's coming in, and write down what you what you don't want, what you want to leave your life in that clearing. Write down 8 things that you're grateful for in this moment, and then be very clear about what you're wanting to manifest, or why you want X amount of money. Uh, but if the clearer and more focused you can be on that intention, along with the natural energies going on here in the universe in our little solar system, you have a very fine opportunity for some manifestation miracles.
Yeah.
You've got to be very clear about what it is you want.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think too, it's really important when you begin to manifest something is to make sure you're vibrating towards that too.
Yes.
If you're
Oh,
you lost him,
we lost Tim.
but if you're needing to manifest, uh, say more abundance, more physical money, then vibrate towards that. Whether that's be looking for better employment
Yes.
or
Take
better
action steps. Yeah.
better investment, take be proactive in finding that manifesting, because if you don't and you leave it to chance, the universe will take whatever line it needs to take towards that, and it said, okay, I just want more money. Well, you found 2 cents on the sidewalk, you just got more money.
Yeah, there. Take it. There you
There
go.
you go.
You didn't specify.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You have to take action steps. Take some
Yes.
kind of action towards in that direction.
But vibrating, I see this a lot with people who want to manifest. They forget you've got to vibrate towards that goal. Otherwise, it's out there to chance entirely.
Hmm.
We have stories of that, don't we?
Oh boy.
We wanted something, but we didn't know what was going to be provided.
Maybe a vacuum sweeper.
Right? Maybe maybe
And
it
then I
doesn't.
think we ended up with like what 16 or 20 of them, and we spent 2 years getting rid of those vacuum sweepers. No kidding. And
Yep.
they just kept showing up on the doorstep. I'm not kidding at all. But I
Yeah.
didn't vibrate towards what I really wanted. Now, in all that mess, I ended up with 4 very good vacuums
Right.
and a carpet sweeper, or a carpet cleaner, I mean. But I hadn't, I just, my kid needs a sweeper. Okay, universe, I need a sweeper. Wham! It was like the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
It really was. And I thought, how do I turn this off? And I couldn't get it turned off. I was
Right.
pretty much the laughing stock of my group at that time, because while I was doing it, I was trying to manifest a high chair for my granddaughter. I got a high chair for a doll baby. No kidding. It's like, what? Ah,
Right.
And I think you saw some of the vacuum sweeper thing that went on, didn't you, Nathan?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I did.
Finally, I was like, no more vacuum sweepers, no more.
Yeah.
I'm having bare floors for the rest of my life.
Right.
No more
And
vacuum sweepers.
that happened to me. It happened to me when I started my store in Texas. I wanted to I seemed to be in a dry spell of technology, and it was all just blah consumer. And then I said, I really I am going to find all this stuff. Boom! A museum says we're shutting down an exhibit. Come get these computers. 2 carloads later,
Oh
right?
my God, you
That was
really
that
did.
was one, right? Then it was I would go to the store and someone has left a bag or a box of all the vintage computer stuff I could ever think of, and people were just
I
coming out of the
remember
woodwork.
that happening to you,
Yeah,
or
and
at
I
least
was
you
like,
talking about it.
yeah, that was that was a manifestation thing, and it wasn't word got out. Just somebody
Nope.
knew somebody knew somebody, and they said,
It
"Oh,
just
okay, well," and then I
started
went
showing
and
up, didn't it?
yeah, I've never had so many 8-bit, 16-bit, and also word processors, printers, scanners. I call them NASA boxes. The TV station unloaded on me a little bit, and it was just where do I go from here? I need to organize this,
Well,
but
and
it
that
worked.
time, at that time, there was no designated place in the dump to unload these things.
Right, and I
So there
actually,
was Nathan.
yeah, and you know what? I filled a role at the time. It was kind of like uh I was redistributing where they needed to go because people eventually figured out, oh, he deals with old computers. And when a lot of people hear old computers, they think last year, and I'm like, no, I'm thinking like last couple decades, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Aaron says something really good here. It says, not a surprise that it shows up. And I know that feeling. The surprise is how it shows up. Then it's always like, oh my God,
Right.
what happened? You know. But I know before I got sick, I was basically praying, God, I've reached a place here in my life. I don't know where I'm going forward. So show me. Whoa, I
Yeah.
guess so. You know?
Well, there's a way to look at that, Lynn.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, no, it's all
you,
very good.
yeah, you had gotten off track, not because of what you did, but because surrounding influences, whatever, I don't know,
Right,
the
right.
environment around you, and you needed to be put back on track. And
Well, I
you
was
are.
in big time,
And you
and
are. You're back on track.
forcefully back on track,
Yeah.
and
Well,
shown some things that uh had become dim with time, and are brand new all over again, and it might sound like the same old stuff over and over again here, but it's not. It's very new. We'd love to see,
uh-oh.
you know,
Speaking of
what
speaking of which,
I see eyes,
yep,
little
we got raccoon
eyes.
action.
Uh-oh, 4 of them. I can see the. Oh gosh, look at those eyes. Oh my God. Oh, they're sneaking around, aren't they?
Crazy.
I'll tell you, you want to know what your spirit animal is? I think you know.
That's it. That's it.
A little hunter gatherer person. But the yeah, yeah, I know they're just they could really be a pest. But the uh, the facts of the matter are that I was shown very specifically where to go from there, and I wasn't wrong in my path. I was being shown that my path was correct and how to make that path work even better. And that was worth the trip, really. I've never been so ill in my life as I was over this,
Hmm.
and I've had some close calls in my life, but never anything this specific. You know, when I say I was shown my path, I mean literally shown what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and
Right.
not to be worried about it.
Yeah,
And
I would
that
say that
always is.
that you were kind of wrapped up in it all, and you had to be like, okay, we tend to get really distracted from
Yes,
from truth, and then sometimes we have to be snapped back, right? Now, I'm not
very
saying,
true.
but you definitely did go to the other side of the veil to figure this out.
Well, and for a length of time, you know, um, Storm was very much afraid that he was going to lose me, and for a while there, he did. You know,
Okay.
it took me some time to be able to breathe on my own and to be able to live, and there was no guarantees of any of it. But during the entirety of it, I was reassured not to be afraid, that everything would turn out for my absolute best interests. You know, and we need to cling to that if we're of the universe, that there's
Yeah.
no need to be afraid. Things will work out for us to our best interests if we love our creator, if you want to put it that way, or our universe, or our God, or our goddess. You know, if we put our faith into that all-knowing other, however we perceive them, you know, we have no reason to be afraid, none at all. You know, everything's under control, and it is exactly the way it's supposed to turn out.
And
Is it going to
stay
be pretty in places? No, it's not.
and stay authentic.
Stay authentic.
Stay authentic. It's easy to get sidetracked.
Don't
Stay
run with
authentic.
people who are not. You know, don't run with people who do not embody your values and the things that you consider right living. Because if you do, you will end up like they are. You
Yeah.
just will.
How many
It can be no
phrases do
other
we got
way.
for that? How many how many phrases are there for that? You know?
Plenty.
I mean, what's a couple? Uh you lay with dogs, you get fleas. Thank
Hey, hey,
you. We got
hey. She's
there we
got it.
go.
And don't talk about my dog. She
No,
does not
I
have
mean,
fleas.
we love your dog.
She's not a burrito either.
No, what's up. She knows what's up.
She does. She's very perceptive. They both are. Our other pooch passed away here about a year ago, and he was happy and satisfied to be a dog. He did dog stuff and dog time, and he wasn't influenced at all by being anything but a dog. And that wish was honored. You know, it's very seldom a dog runs into this place and doesn't become sentient, you know, but he was a dog and that's how he wanted it.
Yeah. And
So,
okay, now we were getting into the empathy stuff
yeah,
before the break. And we didn't really. I mean, yeah, we definitely do.
we
We
have
love the
some
creepy stuff.
empathy going here today. I mean, we talked quite a bit about it when we first started.
Yeah. So and to the I don't know, we kind of the rails went this way and that way.
They do. It's a roller coaster right here.
And the raccoons came in, and then your little dog came in.
Hell yeah, she's got to have her say. She always does.
Yep.
Empathy. You know,
And
empathy is just a very nice way of saying you can feel what other people feel. How much of that is usually entirely up to you. How many boundaries you put in place to keep yourself from feeling too much is kind of important because we could get overwhelmed by empathy. You know, when we
And there,
look at the nightly news and it's full of hungry kids, and the rest of the news as we see it. You know, I don't know about you all, but I could sit there and cry, and spend my night that way feeling bad for the whole business. I choose not to torture myself that way. That's a boundary. Saying, okay, I can feel it for 10 minutes, but I'm
Mhm.
not going to inundate my life to a place where I become null and void over it.
There are different types of empathy,
There sure
and if you Google it, you'll get the
are.
main types of empathy listed as cognitive, affective, and somatic.
Right.
The difference being cognitive is knowing what someone else might be thinking or how they see a situation.
Yes.
Affective, which is more of the emotional feeling, the actual emotion that another person is feeling. And then the somatic empathy is having a physical body reaction to what another person is going through.
Right.
There are some empaths that feel other people's pain if
Yes.
they get within 2 feet of them. I know a couple people like that. It's it's a gift
It,
and a curse. They'll tell you, and I
it
can imagine.
is. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Um,
And that doesn't mean that we don't have honest feelings about someone else's pain. It means that we know how much we can do and what we can't do.
mhm. I think sympathy and empathy are often confused. I think by
Yes.
the Muggle world, um, sympathy is feeling pity or having a care or concern for somebody without necessarily being able to relate to their actual emotion, their exact pain.
Yeah.
Empathy is sharing that exact feeling. You've been where they've been, both emotional and physical in every way. You know what it's like. You've been in those trenches, and you can totally get in those trenches with them and know how to show them out of it. Like,
And a honest empath that has the emotive feeling or the symptomatic feeling uh, honestly feels the cut, the same cut, the same bullet hole, if you will, or the same bruise. They will honestly feel that bruise. Whereas, the sympathetic knows of a bruise, how bad a bad bruise can feel, and maybe have an idea of what a puncture might feel like. It's not the same thing.
right. Now,
It's
Samuel brings
very
up a good
different.
a good point here. He says, Raven, then what's compassion? If you go to the definition, it's very similar. Um,
Yes,
the definition of compassion is having a deep feeling of care, the urge to help, and kindness when you see someone hurting. It means noticing the pain and feeling a warm wish, a deep desire to ease it and try to help that person.
right. You'll see compassion a lot in the medical field. You
Yeah.
know, now if
Hmm.
they're burned out, you might not see as much. But you know, I was fortunate in a hospital, feeling the deep compassion of other people, and could feel that compassion. You know,
Hmm.
being mirrored towards me, and it can be very complicated that way too. Where a mother will be so into their child that uh, he gets hurt, she's about dead. Seriously, I've seen that, and it can be pretty bodacious.
Um, to this point, it compassion versus empathy.
Right,
Empathy means that you know how another person feels. Compassion is taking that feeling and adding a strong wish to help. So you can be
right,
you can have empathy, but not maybe want to get involved and not really want to help somebody, I guess. But compassion is that urge to jump in and assist.
right. You see that a lot with empaths, where their compassion is off the charts
Yeah.
because they almost obsessively have to help.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all of them, not by a long shot, but a good many of them will have compassion to the place where it's a physical need to help.
Compassion can be here. Compassion can be a curse also.
Oh boy.
That's how I've
Sure
ended up with so
can.
many cats. Okay.
And raccoons and
And raccoons.
possums and
I love animals.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I
You
can't
know,
stay mad at them very long. I mean, I'm madder than hell when they tear up my plants here on the deck and pee on stuff and you know. But
yeah, but
and
honestly, your compassion won't allow you to to physically get rid of them.
to murder them, I know.
Yeah,
Damn
yeah,
it.
you can't do it. And you know, I'll tell you what, I respect that. I respect that a great deal. You know, because not everybody who claims compassion and understanding and sympathy honestly has it, and you do.
Thank you. I do have. It is a curse at times.
Oh boy, I know.
I often wish I didn't have that, and I could just go get, you know, rifle and just
Exterminator and have done with it. I know, but you couldn't possibly pick up that phone that
coonskin has
urgent.
for everyone at Christmas.
No. Just no. I don't want it.
Okay, okay. None for
Send
Lynn.
that to send that to your relatives.
Yes. Oh, God. Yeah. There's something else.
Make sure it's in various stages of cure and shut up, Lynn. Anyway, yeah, Tim knows what I'm saying.
Scream Engine is saying, Raven, I could do the wet work if I ever pass through town. Laugh out loud.
Okay.
He doesn't have any such compunction, does
If you
he?
come anywhere close here, you better call me and come see me. Hell yeah.
Coonskin hats, cat
Yeah.
skin gloves, maybe some socks made out of little dough.
But
Oh,
that's a bad bee. How
yeah.
could you think like that?
Buy raccoon
Oh,
pelts.
oh,
This household
don't ask me.
counts.
The,
Okay.
the the opposite of the compassion and everything is that feeling you have when you can feel the negative too, and I feel that sometimes too, the negative end of empathy, where you not only like you not only feel the good things that a person can experience, but you also feel the negative experience somebody can experience
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought
Oh
you were
yeah.
gonna talk about toxic
This
empathy,
is
which is a
just
different
the gut
animal.
Yeah,
feeling. The gut feeling that you look at somebody and say that person is so off the wall, no, so off the chart that
yeah,
oh my God, I need to run to the other end of the country right now. You know,
right,
when we have that around here. My son enjoys fishing. He's not a big hunter, but his dad was in the day. And Frank's dad liked to hunt, and he accompanied him many times and knows how to butcher. And that has basically saved this family hundreds of dollars because he can butcher.
Yeah, it's a skill.
I can take
yeah,
a quarter beef and hand it to Storm, and hey, chop me up some hamburger meat and some steaks and some roasts, will you? And he has them done in nothing flat. These are practical skills, and there's never a time though when one of them pulls something out of the river or takes venison or groceries come home that we don't thank the animal for its
right,
sacrifice so that we can eat. Now that's an old Indian uh, tradition, but that my ex-husband's half Cherokee. We observe the old traditions in this house, but we've never had a problem with parasites or bad bad food. Now I wonder if some of that isn't the blessing. Why
It,
wouldn't it be?
I believe it is. I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly believe in that blessing, the food, and we know that water responds to our intentions, and I always
yeah,
bless the water.
yeah.
And
Mm,
food has water in it, so I mean, yeah,
Well, and some of the older traditions of Judaism was you don't use the blood. You know, you never use the blood. That these are all things that we attribute to religious conviction, but many of them are very much based in practical knowledge. You know, one of the big things with blessing an animal uh, is to bless their progeny. May you be fruitful and be be many, so that I don't go hungry or my family doesn't. You see, and many times would Storm's father would say, I qualified for an extra tag. How much do you want? What a blessing that was for us to have burger and steak and
yeah.
roast venison. So you know we I we've turned it kind of towards that sort of thing. But truly, being part of our creation with our creator is also being part of the natural world and being part of the animal world too.
Hmm. Okay. We have a question from the chat. Renee is saying, "What is the knowing you talked about?" She's talking about in the first hour, right?
The knowing.
The knowing, authenticity, empathy, and knowing. It's where you're able to wrap it all up, and you also draw from you draw not only from practical experience and observation, but something comes in to where you wrap it all up. You take the empathic impressions you get, the observations you're using, and then you know what's up, right?
Yeah,
And you take all the information given, and there is some information coming in on, I don't know how to say it, quantum lines, as well as hearing
right,
it and seeing it, so you can know what's going on. So when you wrap up the actions of someone, you can normally use your empathic sense to tell what kind of intention is there,
right.
and that's knowing. And once you gauge a situation, it's easy for me to say because I do it all the time, but it's hard to explain to people who don't really have those empathic awarenesses, you know?
Well,
And
most everybody, Nathan, has a gut feeling.
right,
When something doesn't sound right, doesn't set right, gives them the heebies.
right. That's
Um,
where we start to explore what that is. What is
yeah,
that? Where does that
you
come
know,
from? And then that adds
and
to,
so we can put a name on it, so we can
and
identify it later.
where does it fit in this puzzle? And
Yeah.
what's
Right.
going on? And what's the intention? And why is it there? And then we can use the sum of everything
A
and
person
figure
can
out.
sit on a bus and be very menacing, or they can just sit there. What's the difference? How do you know? What's the difference? Your gut tells you.
Right, you got that feeling. And then if you're in an active situation, what are they, a leadership situation, or you're part of
Yeah.
a team, what is this person doing? Or did they do it on purpose? Were they late on purpose? Did they mean to slow the project down? or did this spur on a reaction that they didn't even know was going to happen? Or it's really, if it was easy, it would be documented all over the place. But it isn't.
It'd be
It's
a,
not easy.
and there may be 100 reasons for that one late meeting.
Right. And
You
they're,
know,
oh man.
it could be
Reason
attention
to,
seeking. You just never know.
right. It could be something on the other side stepped in to make them not be there for whatever situation it is. And they were not supposed to be there in the first place. I've been in lots of that.
No, that does happen. That happens
I That's happened
quite
to me
often.
a lot. And I the thing is I can notice it when it happens. It's strange. We get okay, um I will be late for work or for an appointment or something. And turns out I was not supposed to be there in the first place for whatever reason. But it always
Mhm.
shows itself after the fact. I was stressed. I was like, oh, I'm late. I'm going to get in trouble and all this stuff. Well, you know what? Something happened to where I wasn't a part of it. And I wasn't supposed to, it was not my path. I look
Mm.
at it that way. If all the happenstances, because I am usually very punctual on stuff, especially work and things I am like aiming at a goal. But if the randomness happens so much to keep me away from that goal, it's not random. There's something keeping you away from that because you're not supposed to be a part of something for whatever reason. We don't know. It didn't happen. Like I had a flat tire over here, but there was a 10-car pileup over here.
Mhm.
That would
I
have been
would have
in the
been over
middle of.
there had I not had a tire. Now, at the time, we're thinking, oh man, this sucks. It's the worst situation ever. No, no, it isn't. And it's either guides, the other side, whoever, saying, I'm going to get you here. Boom, flat tire. Oh, you're on the side of the road, 3/4 of a mile away from the pileup you would have been in. So,
That happens more often than we know.
yeah. And it's just, it takes the empathic talent to see it after the fact and say, oh, wow, now I don't feel so bad. Yikes. I wasn't there for a reason like just the other day. Just
Or
the other day.
put in a situation on purpose too. That
Right.
happens.
Right.
Where you're
For
right
me,
there for it.
I was kept Tim, I told you about this. I think I told everybody about it, but I'll go over it again. I was on my way to work and I saw where I'm at, you could kind of see ahead.
Mhm.
And I saw the cars kind of doing this in front. I'm like, what's going on? Slow down. Someone had dropped something the size of a railroad tie off their truck into the middle of the road.
I
And I was
remember you
headed
telling that.
straight for
Yeah.
it. I was like, oh, and I got over and I was hoping these guys saw something was up too. And they did. But oh man, this was crazy. 3 seconds after I got out of the way, pile up right behind me.
Mhm.
I saw
Yeah.
cars skidding around. One went over it. One went into another car. Oh man, I was, it was right there. I was 3 seconds. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's count. 1, 2, 3. No accident.
Yeah.
That's how close I was. And
Yeah.
I was shown, I was given the resources, the ability, the vision to see, and I was
Yeah.
put out of that situation, not by a flat tire, but by Nathan, you've done this much work towards this. Here's another clue. And I could have been spaced out driving like we all do and just
Uh-huh.
go, go, go. And it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Boom. Total car. Two
Yeah.
cars
Could
behind me
happen
got
easily.
totaled at least.
Yeah.
And I know one person who did that. She totaled her car because she says, oh, that smoke field is not my problem. I know where the road goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right into a wrecked car.
Yeah.
And smashed.
Yeah.
Total car. Luckily,
Yeah.
that was
There's a lot of that feeling going on right now, I know where the road goes. No thought
Yeah.
about what may be coming off of the side road. No,
or
no
railroad
concept
ties
of
in the road.
anything but right here.
Right. So
Right tunnel vision.
so
That
if
is so not how to drive.
yeah,
People
and
pulling
that's
against each other bumpers without thinking about why the person pulled up first.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not a way to deal coasting. I don't coast. I try to be very proactive, and I don't ever bringing it back down to car stuff. I don't ever want my steering to be perfect because then I will coast. I will like start to say, "Oh, well, the car's driving itself for me. I don't have to react to anything." No, I want my shit to float around. That way, okay, okay. But
Just being,
present.
uh, you're driving a 2,000 pound bullet, you know,
Yeah,
or
and so
more, depending on what you're driving.
yeah, and
You
even
know,
okay, if I am kept from getting to where I think I'm supposed to go for whatever reason, I know my guide has got my back. The other
exactly.
side has got my back, and just because you don't make it there like you're supposed to doesn't mean that wasn't supposed to happen in the first place. Because where you are is where you're supposed to be. It doesn't matter. And where you aren't is where you're not supposed to be. We don't know why. We can't put it down in black and white, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So, yeah,
Well, there's plenty of we'll never know. And I mean, even in the larger scheme of things, we're never going to know it. We couldn't possibly absorb all of it.
yeah, best we can
But
do is look at the traces left over.
I know were following a truck one day that had unsecured ladders on it, and
No.
the bozo hit a pothole, and that ladder flew. And Storm and I saw it, and said, "No," you know, completely against physics. This thing jumped off the side of the road and didn't continue to its trajectory. Absolutely impossible.
Right.
Sometimes we're supposed to be where something like that happens too.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
put in a situation to affect it.
yes.
And
And
that,
when you're quantum, and I know that
Mm-hmm.
sounds very trite, it's not meant to be, but when you're quantum and you're actively inside the grid, so to speak, of that quantumness, your word has a great deal of
Of
weight.
power.
It's
Yes, it does.
power.
And so does this finger. Stop. No, don't.
right.
When somebody's getting ready to
Right.
pull out, don't do it. Don't do it. When
Or
they don't see you coming.
although
Always,
raccoons are the exception to the
they
rule.
are. Yes. 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 Good point. That does not work with cats or raccoons.
No, it
No.
doesn't. They
No.
have the same
It does
mind.
work usually with other drivers on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, we can read each other's body language, even though we might be in a vehicle. To an extent, we can.
It,
No,
it's
I
all
know when a
energetic.
vehicle's going to pull out in front of us. I
Yeah.
think most people know somebody's going to do something stupid. I just know it,
Mm.
and invariably they do. You know,
Hmm.
whether you're ready to hit the brake or not's up to you.
Right. Well, that
Smart
is
car.
now that
I don't
doesn't
know.
say that we should rely on
No,
the world to put us where we need to be and not have motivations,
it
not
isn't like
have
that.
goals. They will work with us. This is inter manifestation, right?
Well, it's free will too.
Right. Inter manifestation.
Hmm.
When we manifest things, we set a goal, and with that goal comes deficiencies, and with deficiencies comes attraction, law of attraction. What's up, Blue Cruise?
Hey.
And then that's when
Hi,
the universe
buddy.
starts working with us, right? Be it a thing in the road, be it obstacles keeping us from being at work on time, right? And
or hitting a hole in the road that hasn't been properly coned or
Yes.
I've I can't tell you how many times Storm and I have literally stopped cold because there was a cliff in front of us,
right,
you know, on a perfectly decent road, and then I look at stuff on YouTube or Facebook or what have you, and watch cars blithely roll off an open bridge. What's that about? Do you just don't want to live or what? It's not being mindfully present.
right. And then when you are mindfully present, you become part of the manifestation.
Hmm.
It's really complicated.
It,
It's really complicated.
it is and it's not.
Yeah, it's
I
simple when
think
you're
getting
when you're on the
involved
other
in
side of
it's
it.
fairly simple.
Yeah, when you're on the other side of it, it becomes obvious. But when you're
Yeah.
in it, you're working to whatever. And
When you're trying to learn it, it can be somewhat overwhelming.
yeah,
But you take it in baby steps like you learn everything else. You didn't just put a spoon in your mouth one day and say, "Oh, I know how to eat." You had to learn how to do that
right.
or
And
relearn it in some people's cases. But knowing how to do a thing and doing it are often two different things, two different operations.
right. Damn right. But that is knowing. See, it's not easy, but it is workable. You can get there. Usually it happens after the fact. So what is this knowing I spoke about? There we are. You take all the information and you look at it and you realize, and a lot of it is knowing that you are a part of a system and knowing how to not interrupt the system.
Don't you
Let it.
think that that's where we get a lot of these questions about the Matrix?
Yeah.
It's part
Yep.
of knowing the system.
Yep. You know the system and you don't interrupt it, but when you're aware of it, that is the red pill. You don't necessarily have to be run by it, but you're aware of it. The blue pill, they don't understand they're in a system, right?
They don't understand any part of it.
No, they're
They're
just like, oh,
just going along to get along.
yep. Oh, this tastes like steak. It's meaty. I'm horribly quoting the movie, right?
No, no, I remember that part of it myself. The indoctrination is this is what steak tastes like,
Yeah,
and um, in the context that it was in is correct.
right.
In our context, there are so many more mathematical calculations going on than that. You can't even begin to comprehend it.
Yeah,
And I think that's why a good many of us believe in a creator and a universe because
right.
it's far more vast than we can comprehend.
And enter faith. That's where I say my little leap of faith is this. My little leap of faith is that because I don't have the information and I'm relying on whatever I do know, which usually isn't much. And the leap of faith is this because maybe I can't comprehend it. Maybe I just don't know it. I don't know.
It may be incomprehensible, was really what I was saying, because our little minds can't possibly grasp what we can see most of the time, let alone what we can't.
Right. Yeah. And there's also things like the butterfly effect. And it seems like
Exactly.
totally random, but one thing affects one thing, and it's a cascade effect.
Pretty soon, Raven has more raccoons.
right?
No, I don't know.
but
I should pick on you, Raven. I'm sorry.
and here's an interesting thing. Aaron says
It's okay.
the Bible is an instruction book. Now, I will talk about this, right?
It is
Let
in
me
places, yes.
let me start off with this, and we can stretch it out a little bit. We're at the end of the panel, but we can stretch it out some. The Bible is an instruction book for us, for most of us, because most of us need the black and white. They don't. Okay, we here, we are an exception to that, right? We were
Yeah.
gifted, given the enlightenment, the ability, whatever, to know right from wrong. And the Bible was not written by God, it was written by men. And you know what? I'm sorry, not sorry. That makes it a valid point of critique. I will go over it. We can discuss it. I'm not going to buy every word of it. And there are contexts in there that do not apply now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's for sure.
Like stoning your kids in the street.
Or murder
If they
or
don't
killing your
mind.
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that's so antiquated and out of realm of practicality even. I
Yeah,
mean,
and it was
you're gonna
written
sell your daughter for 5 shekels because your neighbor wants a servant.
right.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was written by
It's the
men,
truth.
okay? It was written by men. And
In
that's
the
also how
context
I
of their
feel
time.
about
And
yeah,
inspired by ETs that have anger management problems.
Some of
possibly.
them, yeah.
It's up to interpretation. Yes.
Yeah, some of them, you're absolutely right.
So I am with very few exceptions, I'm not trying I mean all churches are valid targets for me. All churches on planet Earth are valid targets for me and my criticism. Not that I'm targeting anyone, but don't come at me, bro. Don't come
Yeah,
at me, bro,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I got it up here to match you, right? And
I think a big challenge might be to anybody who says King James Version Bible is the end all of all concepts would be well advised to read the Ethiopian Bible. It has not been
Yes.
tampered with by the church at Constantinople or Constantine.
mm,
It hasn't been pillaged by the Nicene Council.
Right.
It is one of the only versions of the Bible that has not been uh,
Chopped up and
chopped up,
and
demonized, homogenized, and
right.
the,
privatized.
the Ethiopian Bible, does it have it has those the same gospels that they found at Nag Hammadi in the
It has
desert, right?
uh,
Do
it
you know?
has some of them. It's very hard to find the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of
Yeah,
Judas,
that's the
the
one that's really
Gospel of Timothy.
and Philip
Um,
and Thomas. The Gospel of Thomas is supposed to be the one
Thomas,
was written
yeah,
close to the time of the actual speaking Jesus' time, because Thomas is
right.
further, I guess.
I think
Right.
Thomas depicts the childhood of Jesus. Many of these tomes were excluded during the Nicene Council because they didn't fly with the political atmosphere of the day,
Well, no,
i.e., it wasn't patriarchal. Um, it
the church
there was
needed to
just so
insert itself
much.
in the middle to be the middleman, because you can't
Yeah,
have a bunch of you can't have a congregation of thinking people that are
no, you have to
responsible for their own
have people
actions,
delay.
that
Yeah,
aren't afraid of something, and they're not going to give you money uh, if there isn't some reason for your protection to be there.
well, and you don't want your peasant groups to rebel. Okay, you want that threat of hell over their head.
Right.
See, and this has been part, unfortunately, how the word of God has been bandied about by people just taking whatever they want to, so that it aligns with their personal agenda. You know, some of us are sick and tired of that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't like the whole fear mongering part of it, where
Right.
you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna go to hell. Oh man, because
There's very little mention of how there
yeah,
really is.
what I really liked is when Jesus. Now, what men say, suspect. What Jesus
Right.
said, I'm all over it,
Me
because
too.
Jesus said, "The of heaven is within you."
Hmm.
And there's lots of ways to look at that, but I go with that.
There was
So,
an earlier gospel uh, that I'm not sure if it's in the Ethiopian Bible or not. I haven't got that far yet. And yes, I'm rereading it. I cut my teeth on the Old and New Testaments. I studied them,
mm-hmm,
so I'm well aware of what they say. The Ethiopian Bible has given me an entirely different viewpoint of many things, and I'm still in Genesis. You know, I just got the
Oh,
thing,
how fascinating.
but it has been eye opening. Uh, the There is another gospel of Jesus that came before Matthew that was just pitched. They didn't want it in there, you know, and some of that, from what I understand, I haven't read it myself yet, is uh, unusual, shall we say. No, I'll challenge anybody who wants to find out what the name of that gospel is and find out what it actually says, you
yep.
know, because we've been held back from this information for aeons, 1,000 years, folks.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
And who's been in charge?
Hmm.
Kings, popes, bishops, you know, and religions, without worrying one iota about what is real to the common person.
And you know what? We still would be if it wasn't for Henry VIII. He is the first king, the first monarch that allowed and permitted the Bible to be mass produced on a printing press.
That's right.
And the Pope is furious with him
Yes,
for
he
that.
was.
And, Henry VIII says, hey, well, fuck you. You should have given me that divorce the first time I asked you.
That's
So,
right. That's
eat shit and
right.
die.
You know, and it might have saved a whole lot of women if he had a,
Yeah, no
you
kidding.
know.
But he
But
was, for all that, Henry VIII that gets, such a bad rap because of all of his wives and stuff, uh, he was really a forward thinking man
he
and
was.
thought it was
Yeah.
a good idea to let people read the Bible for themselves, which was just, that was the hugest threat to the church because, first of all, most people couldn't read. Your
Right.
upper income families could, but most of the peasants could not, and so
The,
they were
the
totally at
upper
the
the
at the word of whatever the priest said to them on Sunday, and said that book said. They always had to
that
have that.
depended on if they read, you know, if they used that skill, and if they were male. Women weren't bothered with.
Well, Anne Boleyn was. Anne
Yeah,
Boleyn
she
was
had
well read,
tutors.
and yeah.
They made sure of it,
Hmm.
and she passed that to Elizabeth I, who was one of the finest
Yes.
monarchs
Yes.
England ever had.
Yes. I agree. I agree. I
She
love the Queen
used
Elizabeth.
her education.
Yep. Yep.
So we could go on and on about that particular thing, but you know, I challenge you. The Ethiopian Bible is available. Read it.
Yeah.
Read your King James and compare
Yeah.
and see which one gives you the most understanding and the most knowledge. I have a whole different perspective of what happened between Abraham, Esau, and Jacob.
Mhm.
And I know that story very well.
Right. Well, we have another. Not to cut anybody off, but that's we have we like you said, we could go on and on.
Yeah, we
But
could.
Aaron is asking Raven or
Yes.
anybody, do you know Neville Goddard?
Yes,
He's an
I
author.
do. I just now saw that. I just now saw that. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds familiar, and
Would you
I
like to go
can't
on?
place it.
Yeah.
Take it away, Raven.
Huh?
Take it away, Neville
Oh,
Goddard.
Neville Goddard. Best story that I know of that's a true story about Neville Goddard using the power of intention was he was drafted. It's had to have been World War II. I'm
Yes, I'm reading
thinking.
about it right now.
Okay, he was drafted in World War II, and he absolutely did not believe in war. He did not want to be there whatsoever, and he was just trying desperately to get out any way he could. And so he was laying there in his barracks one night, and the thought came to him to just picture being at home and picture it so vividly. Walk through the hallway down to the master bedroom, look at the wife in bed, turn around, go to the kitchen. And I mean, he just did this night after night after night. I want to go home. I'm going to go home. I'm going home. I'm going home.
Use that.
And he just kept doing this affirmation, something to that effect, and picturing what it was like to be at home every night. And he got medically discharged out of the blue. I think it was a medical discharge, right?
I'm
I
reading.
don't know.
Something happened, and he got
I'll
discharged and
tell
got to
you
go
what,
home.
though. You want something, live it in your head.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Get it in your mind and live there with it. You
and
know, and
feel it,
make sure and
smell
feel
the
it,
smells,
taste it,
and make it visceral.
get the
You know,
coffee
feel
moving, the whole bit.
yeah, feel the temperature of the air, feel the whatever the weather is like, feel the
That new car smell, if that's where you're
yeah,
going with it.
make it visceral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is our minds take us where we want to go.
they say that our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. That's why this works. That when
Right.
we visualize something so intently, it doesn't know that difference between that and reality.
It's part of that uh, 0 point energy.
Yeah. And if you think something is a certain way, it is.
Mm.
I have experienced that. I've said it a lot. Tim, what has been your experience where you perceive it and it is? Do you got anything? I don't want you to not say anything. That's all. I want to. You're definitely included.
Yeah, you put me on the spot, but
Sorry, dude. I mean, I mean, I don't want.
uh,
We're running it,
not
and I don't want to run
not
you over.
um something that you thought about and then existed. Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a product? What are your products of manifestation, or
Yeah,
your if you were
uh,
mistaken about something, but it was still that way?
yeah. I've done that too. It's really weird to think about the reverse. Usually, it's the whole. I see something and then I figure out how that came to be, and not that. Yeah, it's
Oh, you
weird.
reverse engineer it.
Yeah, I do. I
Ah,
do.
got it.
When I see it,
Storm does that.
when I see a ghost, for example, okay, you 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 see a cabinet that's open. You exhaust all the solutions that you can that are natural first before you go. That's a ghost that opened that cabinet. You know, did somebody else walk to the room and open that cabinet?
Right,
Was there a
right.
strong wind, some gravitational pull, something weird that opened that
Pressure in the house.
pressure?
Earthquake.
Just the other day, um, the front door was open, and I was like, "Why did you leave the front door open, Sarah?" And Sarah's like, "I didn't leave the front door open. I thought you left the front door open." And I'm like, "It's that damn ghost again. It's that pressure in the house where every now and then our house has this certain weird pressure alignment that pops doors open because it's an older house." But is that a ghost or is that the house? I don't know. You
Uh,
know, it,
and we have a similar situation here, the same way. You know, when we are debunking something, we reverse engineer it to make sure that there isn't a logical reason for it,
right.
which is the right way to ghost hunt, at least in my opinion.
I agree because I want so badly these things to be real, but the only way that we can like find absolute proof of things existing is by ruling out everything that is false around it. You know,
No, you're right.
like like in this case of the doorways opening on their own. You know, like sometimes it is known that they do that. We don't know why they do that, but we know that they do that. So is that necessarily a ghost, or is that just some fluke with the pressure in the house? You know,
Is it
it's
both?
or is it both?
Yeah,
There is overlapping.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
there's haunted machines.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Haunted computers that keep
Yeah.
running. They keep running even though the electric is off and the power
Yes.
to the grid is off. And Storm has experienced that where the computer just kept going.
They're possessed.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are weird. I've experienced those too.
yeah. It scared the company enough to say, that's impossible. Therefore, it must not have happened. And
Right.
Storm said, "Right, I didn't take an order on that machine during that wipeout. You're absolutely correct."
I love when those
That
things
there it
happen.
was, and it was a big order. It wasn't some small thing.
Mhm.
So, it was we we have these circumstances that come about, and we can't explain them. Are they a ghost? Are they a fluke? Are they an interference from another world? We don't know.
Mhm.
Is it
Eh,
your guide?
Is
Yeah,
it
there's
your
Right.
just
guide?
so much. Okay, everybody. Well, I just wanted everyone to be included. I'm sorry, Tim. I didn't want to.
It's all right.
I thought
I,
he
s-
did
I,
fabulously with it.
I see orbs, and I've seen them ever since I was a child, but I don't think that they're ghosts. There's one for you.
You got it. All right. Well, you know what? We're beyond the 12-hour mark. Not far, but beyond it. And we did good. I think tonight was a great panel. We talked about everything that we talked about. We ended up with manifestation and observation and being and letting and working with reality as well as outside of reality, blue pillars. That's not us. And yeah, I think we did good. Think we did good.
Think so?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did
we've
good.
talked about our own experiences during many of these kinds of things. They're not random things. They happen to everybody. We're more conscious maybe of them,
Yep.
but they do happen to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are where we are when we need to be when we need to be there. One way or another. It doesn't matter. Don't feel bad. If you end up somewhere you're not planning on, look say, what's here for me? Because this is where I ended up. Not through my choice. What's here for me? But anyway. Okay.
Yeah, we're allowed to ask those questions,
Yeah. And
and get answers.
right. So uh thank you, Lynn, Tim, Raven, for coming with me on this panel talking about
It's always a pleasure.
yeah,
Always a pleasure indeed.
Yes.
we
Yeah.
started with authenticity, empathy, and knowing, and I think we wrapped it up pretty good. And I
Mhm.
think we left plenty of questions unanswered for other people to ponder.
Yeah. Right.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I like
we're
it
open to other people's experiences too. Absolutely.
for sure. Email me. Okay, to the people asking in chat, I don't do an open line show because bad things tend to happen. I gotta get to know you a little bit. Tell me
We've
your
seen
story.
some beauties.
Yeah, tell me your story. Email me. My contact information is in the description of almost every show. And yeah, we may do something cool. We can figure it out. We can arrange it. I'm starting to talk to people. I'm starting to go out like we did at the Bigfoot conference, and I went and talked to presenters and just attendees and etc. And videos are going to continue to go up. Okay, so anyway,
And
thanks
maybe we get to
everybody.
see the mustard festival.
I know maybe we'll cover the Mustard Museum Festival, all of that, and I twist my arm. I'll do the Tomato Festival. Okay, next year. Oh gosh. Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody. Aussie is now flashing that green light at me. I've been ignoring it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you hear your quantum and
And
Agents,
thanks to the
Aliens, AI.
moderators. You guys are great.
And thanks everyone for the support. The show received several coffees. Thank you so much. That goes towards things like cards, the merch stuff, the bills that pay for this show. I mean, this stuff isn't free. It's not super expensive, but it is not free. But thanks everybody, to the mods, to the attendees, to people with questions. Thank you for participating. I only do this because you're into it. You know, if y'all weren't into it, I'd probably do it a couple times and then go like, I'm talking into an empty cup. I'm talking. Well, listen to me.
Yeah,
Talking to the
we've
raccoons.
gotten an awful full cup here.
Yeah,
We've got
yeah.
you've got a
But
lot of followers on this
Absolutely.
show. You
yeah,
really
but with
do.
every point, every show, every guest, every topic, we radiate out, and it's for the betterment. We do for reality purposes. People say entertainment. If you like it, you laugh. Good, great, sure. We tell jokes, and but we're for reality purposes. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. Pushing buttons. Thanks, everybody. You have a good rest of the evening. Okay.
Have a good week. See you
Good
next
night,
Saturday.
everyone. See you next week.
See
Pushing
everyone
buttons.
later.
That's cool. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Yeah, I like that.
Amen.
Good.
That's cool.
Truth.
Pushing buttons. We're gonna end on that one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Pushing
I like
buttons.
that. I like that.
Pushing buttons.